Welcome, my name is Kat, this is my channel Kat Can Sew, and welcome to episode 36. To anybody who is new, welcome. To anybody who's returning, thank you. I've actually been getting some decent for me numbers, so I do appreciate it, and I'm now hopefully going to be on this recording Saturday morning thing, but we'll see how that goes. That's me. Did not expect super regular from me. I'm on Instagram under Kat Can Sew, and I'm gonna jump into my stitching. I have 2 finishes and I think I have 5 whips. No new starts this week, though we may get one in the next month. First up is a semi-long-term project. Okay, it's technically been a project for 9 years, so I guess that makes it a long-term project. It is the Tingles series by Lizzie Kate. They were a flip it series, so it came on 6 of these little cards with 2 patterns each. So for example, this one had its Hello Scream and Fright Night, with a suggestion of making it as a wall hanging, which came as a downloadable design with like instructions, so I did that. I also did this in the DMC because at the time I didn't really use fancy floss, so I did it all in the DMC conversion. The pattern actually calls for weeks, but it came out fine, and here it is. I'm going to put it in a picture as well because she is long. So this was 12 little individual patterns. So we got Ghosties and Ghoulies and Haunted, October 31, Just Batty and Jack-O-Lantern, Trick or Treat Smell My Feet, Double Double Toil and Trouble, It's Hello Scream with a little skeleton, It's Halloween, Fright Night, Gone Batty, and Spooky. Halloween's not really my jam. I did this when I came out. I started this, I want to say I got the, like, all of the charts when Stitches and Spice was going out of business, for a discount, because I really wanted to do one of Lizzie Kate's double flips. I really want to do the Halloween rules, the Christmas rules, and a couple of her other Christmas ones that she's got. I also brought the fabric at the same time. This is a 28, I think it's a Monaco, in Manor House from Stitches and Spice. It's looking really washed out, but it is this gorgeous, like, brown colour. It's a really nice, and the fabric's really firm. So I brought this out when I came out to visit my now husband in 2016, because at the start of that trip I got to do the very last days, or the second last week or something, of Disney's 60th, and they do it for like a year and a half. So I brought this project with me, so it was all kitted, plenty of stitching to do, and I think I got half of Ghosties and Ghoulies done. Like, that was it. This has been a long-term project. I don't really pull it out much because Halloween's not really my jam, which is going to be interesting because I think I'm going to use the other long 8s on this to do the Halloween rules, because I think they'll go good together. I do not have all of those patterns. I'm not even sure I have any of those patterns. I know I have a bunch of the Christmas ones, but I don't think I've got any of the Halloween ones. So I will probably go, that will probably be the next ones, that anytime I'm doing a 1, 2, 3 stitch order, I'll add one of those into my cart. I also try to see if I can pick them up in stores. But the Lizzie K is no longer a company that's in business, though I do believe 123 Stitch has the rights to continue really with her patterns. So I did to finish this I did 704 stitches, and I finished it during the whatchamacallit, Rise of the Retreat, which was the retreat I was talking about last time, which was held by the virtual retreat held by Cross Stitch Society for Labor Day weekend. Because these are all individual charts, both of these counted as finishes, and so I finished this one right at the end, including the beads, the buttons, right at the end of the day. Oh, I'm gonna tighten that button. Sorry, if I don't do this now, I will forget. There we go. So it's got all the buttons on it. There's a little green button, and then there's 2 black ones and spooky. Including the buttons. There was something else on it that gave me 50 points. But I do think that helped our team snag the victory. As we were up by like 95 points or something. So it was a good weekend. Had fun with it. Gave me an excuse to pull these out. I don't actually remember. I think it's just this matched a bunch of the prompts, and I was working on it between prompts. Like a lot of colour prompts. But she's done. She's going away. This was finished on September 1st. It's in a Live LA bag, which I can now reclaim. Not that I need to reclaim them. I've got a bunch of projects bags that don't have projects in it. I think I'm going to start kitting some stuff and putting it in project bags. Next finish, I finished literally this morning. I was not going to bed until it was done, and then I promptly did all of my math. So here we go with Yuletide Adia. This is on a 16 count Ocean Air Ada. I don't love Ada, but this was what was kitted, and there it is. This is beaded, and I changed the 2 for a 5. This was from the Stitch and Button 2022 Advent pack that I got. It came with like needle minder and like a Frogger and a threader that she beaded, as well as a project bag. It is not the project I have it in, because I needed it for a different project. I needed a bigger one for a different project at a time when I didn't have a ton. So there we go. I removed my guideline off it. It hasn't been washed, hasn't been pressed. It is how it is. If I'm showing them on here, they've never been washed or pressed. Like, until I'm going to do something with them, I don't do like wash or press anything. So here we go. This was fully kitted. I actually had some issues with the kitting on this one, as the threads are quite short. The threads are really short. And I'm a loop starter, and I'm a cut my skein into 4. So I use like 1 meter lengths. It also came with the Mill Hill beads. I actually had a bunch of the petites in the same colour from all of my Christmas Mill Hill snowflake ornaments I did a couple of years ago. So these were too big. Here is a photo that compares them. So I switched over to the petites. Not that I opened this pack, because I also have a bunch of the white this side in my little box. So this one got 724 stitches to finish. Most of that was this deer here and the beads. Like 150 beads or something like that. That's also an 11 day LA bag. Now on to my projects. I worked on a bunch of projects because I was using them for prompts during the retreat, as well as trying to knock out some goals. So first up is Pirate Crest by Atomic Tiki Pins, and here is where I was, and I'm trying to leave enough time to actually show where I was because I don't tend to move them to the small anymore. And here is where I am. So I finished the birdie. So the parrot is now finished, the skull is now finished. Oh, and I finished the last little bit that was in the guns and the banner. So I think the next part I start on is this one I've decided I'm going to do by motive. I try to like switch up the way I'm doing things. Is going to be the steering wheel. So, the ship's wheel, which will be in underneath it. This was really good for prompts. I managed to get a bunch of stitching done on this because of prompts, hence how the entire birdie got done. I got 984 stitches done on this, and I want to say all of that was done over the retreat. Like, it was up, I'm pretty sure I showed it last week with a little bit of the bird started. So I got a ton of this done. It's not that big, like, it's like with my border, it's that big. Like, it's not that big. So it will, hopefully it'll get pulled up, it'll get spun up a couple more times. As I really like enjoying this. I'm just using my wheel to get through the projects I don't love doing, and I'm getting to the point of my wheel where most of my projects I'm getting, but also I have nearly touched every single project that I have. Fabric is a 28 count Parchment Lugana by Lizzie LA. Needle minder is by Inchworm Designs. I'm just really liking this. Like, it's really cute. Cute is possibly not the right word. I do want to get this one finished because I do want to do the Space Mountain one, and I want to do the Jungle Cruise one that she has also designed. This is in a Live and Die Hello Winter bag. This possibly was a Christmas box project bag from Live and Die. Next up, this is in the Q-Snaps. It's not coming out hopefully until I hit my goal on that, which is also hopefully going to give me the rest of California. But it is a Pacific Crest Trail. Here's where I was, and here's where I am. I only got like 280 stitches on there, so I think I got possibly the rest of California and this side here, and a bit more of the trail. So we're nearly there. Like, that is the bottom of the project, so I've got a little bit more of California to do. I think I've got 2,000 stitches left to go on my goals, which will get me to 10%, and will get me 10% and then another 500 stitches because it was a 2024 start, which was the other wheel I spun up. It does mean that neither of those wheels have been like moving fast, but in saying that, I've also been working on projects, so most of the projects that were on my 10% wheel are actually over 10% already. Unfortunately, it does mean that the ones that aren't are the big projects. So I have at least 2 other projects on there that need in excess of 5,000 stitches to hit my 10%. But here we go. This is in the frame because I am trying to do one length on this every time I switch out projects. Needle Minder is Midnight Spell Designs, and it is in a Live and Die LA project bag. I'm not a cat. Well, I am a cat, but I don't have a cat. Can somebody explain why I've got so much on my bag? It's mostly me. Next up is Celebrate All Year March, which is National Umbrella Month. Here is where I was, and I got 198 stitches, which finished the white, which you can't really see, but it filled in the rest of the white here as well as all the white in here. This is actually on my wheel, so hence why it's in the nudge, to get like 20% done, so which will get me to about 60%. I think I'm at 41. No, this is my next closest. This will be my next finish. I've got like 800 stitches to go. This is stitched on a 32 count ice blue linen that was supplied in the 2023 Nice Box from Black Needle Society. When they also did the stitch along, we got this as part of that box as well. Needle Minder is from Camp 2023, and it's in the Stitching Society, Black Needle Stitch Up Society project bag. Yuletide Deal was my lowest number of stitches to go. This is now my lowest stitches. So every time I do 100 stitches, I work through a progression. So this is the one that will get at least 100 stitches on it every couple of days. Well, every couple of stitching days. Next up was another one that got pulled out for one of the prompts. I don't remember which prompt, but it got pulled out for a prompt, so hence why it's out. It may have been one of my goals. Next up is To All a Good Night. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This was also a Black Needle Society Nice List pattern. This was fully kitted in the 2022 Christmas box. Here is where I was, and here is where I'm at. I think I got the black done down the side, down this side. I think that's what I did. I don't remember what prompt it got used for. It did get used for a prompt though. So this is my second lowest number of stitches. So once March is done, this will be the next one that gets pulled out. I believe that may change as some of the other projects on the wheel that are low are also getting pulled out. So but I'm really close. There's only about 700 stitches, 800 stitches to go. I got 130 stitches on this. This is stitched on a 32 count white opal Lugana. I'm guessing it's just a Zagwart, which was supplied by Black Needle Society. Needle minders are from, this was Stacey's Stitchery. I think it's now Love Thy Needle. And a freebie that I don't remember who sent it to me. Project bag is another Liverday LA Christmas project bag. She may, no, she's away. I was going to say, this may be on the wheel, but I think it's not currently. It got put away by mistake when I was putting away everything after the retreat last weekend. Next up is technically my lowest number of stitches, but I am not working on it that way. It is Ribbon Candy Ornament by Calico Crossroads. Here's where I was, and sorry, I'm trying to put everything back in the project bag. Here's where I'm at. No, this way. Here's where I'm at. Look, I'm so close. That's all I have left. I have 113 stitches to go. I am probably looking at, as I cut new purple, dark purple, I'm probably looking at like 3 more days on this. And then I am going to start the UCLA. I am using this design here, but switching it out for these 2 colors. So it is 3760 and 444, which my husband said was a pretty good match for UCLA colors. And then the 3rd row here, I'm going to use various hand dyes. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and do it in a rainbow, or so do 2 rows of like 6 colors, or just pull out 6 hand dyes. I think they're going to be more like solid hand dyes versus very variegated hand dyes, but I have to go through and find all my hand dyes to make that decision, decide whether I want to use silks or cottons or mix. I'm in no rush for it. But it's probably going to take me a couple months to do the UCLA one. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to cut off the one I've done or leave it on there just to give me a little bit more hold, at least for the first couple of bottom rows. And then my last, what did I get done on that? That's on a 14 count perforated paper, and I got 181 stitches, and that is in the Black Needle Society Murder Mystery bag. I do believe this bag came back out with different file dates, which was cool. Their camp this year was also murder mystery themed. Last project that I worked on is Frogwarts Year 1 band sampler. This has been slow going, but I got more stitches on this in the last week than I had on it at all. Here is where it was, and here is where I'm at. Maybe not, I'm not sure what her current stitches is. I got over 1,000 stitches on it, and I did the lightning, these 3 jelly beans, the key, which will have the wings, and I started on the Mirror of Erised, which I am doing in metallic. I'm doing an E12, and around the mirror calls for old purple paint, which is, I think this one here. So I mixed 1 strand of a purple and 1 strand of the blue and a brown. I think it gave it a good mix. I decided to do the mirror before I did fluffy, because a couple of spots this brown actually crosses over, but this is mirrored. It's symmetrical on both sides for the frame, so I was like, I'll do the frame and then I'll go in and do fluffy. Like all of my metallics are out because I'm doing all of my etoiles out. So this is my current, like this will get another about 1200 stitches before the end of the month, as this is my monthly get a quarter of it done, a third of it done, and then we'll spin up and see which of these we work on next month. This project's going to be shown a lot over the next 12 months, just because I am goaling to get this finished by 100% finished by the end of July. And that is in the Prisoner of Azkaban bag. So that is all of my stitching. No new starts, no haul. I do have my August stats because I did the last video on the 20th and actually on the 30th. Then did a ton of stitching for the next, next 36 hours. So my August stats were 16 projects, no starts, 5 finishes, 6 goals. This is my best number of stitches month, which was 13,451, and 103 back stitches, which were all done on the koala. I think there's back stitches and side stitches on that, as well as some French knots, which was cool. So that's kind of it for my stitching. My plans are just to keep plugging through my goal wheels. I actually have 2 projects out that I haven't touched this year. No, one of them was I hadn't touched, but I did last week. My next I hadn't touched anything in this year is Celtic Snow, which I haven't put any stitches in since 2023 when I started it. It's got like 170 stitches total. It should get to 10% this year. I think it's got a large number of stitches, so I think I'm only doing 5%, so it's only like 500 stitches, which is still going to like triple the stitches that are on it. But I'm just plugging away. I'm getting a ton of stitching time at the moment because injured and not working. I am hoping to try and knock out some assorting this week. I really want to replace, I've been saying this all year, I really want to replace the couch and the stitching alcove so I can go back to using that space, because I also want to try doing some gaming streaming. I really want to play Zelda. I have Kingdom Hearts, but I need help with it, and I've got a couple other like old Disney games, and Stardew Valley that I want to try and work through. So if I can set up that space, I can then also set up my camera, my light, and everything like that to record. So hopefully by the end of the month, that's at least organised enough, as well as having my sewing space sorted so I can make my Dapper Day dress. I actually ordered my lining fabric last night because there was a sale on Spoonflower, and I think I now have all of my repeats properly repeating, so that looked good when I digitally proofed that. I went through and did math. It's not very artistic. I was like, oh, if I make these numbers even, I can do the math. This is a 300mm square. As long as all of my maths it means my repeats are going to be in the same spot, and it looked good. So I should have that in the next couple of weeks. So I may be able to show that off next week. On a super happy life update, I got a passport. This has been a 8-month ordeal. I put the application in on the 7th of February, and I received a passport on the 2nd of September. The 3rd of September. Did mean I was comfortable traveling across the country to Philadelphia to celebrate a friend's wedding. Fancy wedding, 3-day event. The 2 nights beforehand, had to make some modifications to my dresses. The light blue dress here, I had to take in. This is a Chelsea Reese ridiculously expensive dream dress that I had been looking at for years. They were at the Dapper Day Expo, so I tried it on, spent the $300 and something on it, and then went to wear it. Tried it on 2 weeks later, and it was too big in the bust. It's good in the waist, but it's too big in the bust. So I had to take it in like 3 inches, 4 inches. So I did. I took out basically 3/4 of an inch on each side of the zip, just bringing in the top of the zip, and then I took like 3/4 of an inch out of both sides. In the underarm, it really needs a little bit taken out on this princess seam, but that princess seam goes straight into the shoulder. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. So I decided not to, and took a little bit more out of the underarms, and I think that made it work. And then I was just wearing a little crocheted. It's knitted. It's machine made. Whatchamacallit? Shrug. Just so it wasn't quite so strappy at a fancy wedding thing. I was a little unsure about this dress, but I got told it was cute a couple of times. I'm not wearing my boot in this photo. I was using the crutches. The crutches were by the wall out of the shot. But I am paying for it. And then this is me and my husband from the wedding. I couldn't wear my boot because the Velcro kept snagging on that tulle. It had foam pads, like bust cups in it, which I had to remove. And then I took out in the sides of the bust to make it fit me better. So I was hand stitching that in the hotel room. So much hotel room hand stitching when you decide that you can go to an event 2 days beforehand. And then this is me with Liberty Bell. This is the dress I wore to the like fun Philly farewell, which was like kind of like we have a ton of food that we need to get rid of, as well as I did some catering for it as well. We didn't actually see the bridal couple there. The bride did show up, but the groom did not. But she didn't show up until pretty much when we left to head into Philadelphia to go check out the Liberty Bell, and as much of Independence Hall as we could. Unfortunately, the only way to see Independence Hall is through a tour, but we did get to check out. At the moment, they're facsimiles because staffing of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and something else. I'm learning all my American history, as well as like the original Congress Hall, which was kind of neat. And then we went and found a like neat place to do dinner, and then we headed back out to where we were staying before we flew home. Our original plan, if we knew we were going, was going to be spending an extra like day or so in Philadelphia, but with not knowing if I was going, my husband had booked his flights and hotels before we knew I was going. But I made it. I have paperwork saying I'm here, so travel is probably going to happen a little bit more this year. Next year, I get my results for my MRI in about 2 weeks time, so before my next video I should have an idea what's going on with my ankle. But that's also going to then determine what I'm doing for work for the rest of the season. But I think that's about it. This has still gone a little bit longer than I was expecting. I'm probably going to edit some of this out. But on that note, do all the YouTubey things, like, comment, subscribe, share. Check on your people. I'm actually heading from here to lunch with one of my, she used to be my work friend, but actually now she's probably one of my closest. And I know she's not having a good day, so I have to head out for that in about 25 minutes. But check on your people. Make sure everybody's doing okay. It's, especially here in the US, it's been tough. The events of this week are very dividing, and I'm not going to state on this my political stance, but check on your people, or do what I'm doing and hermit and stitch. Hey, I'm getting a chance to catch up on Flosstubes and Critical Role. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm gonna send my love out to everybody. Find your jam, stitch on things that you want to, do what makes you happy, and have a great day. Ciao.